Here we go, Tigers, here we go. Here we go, Tigers, here we go. No, that's good.
No.
All right, brother. We here, snap back with T-Mac. My co-host is back, passed the driver's test. Should have got him a Red Bull before we went on for this LSU game. I figured he'd be hyped. I think he's still sleeping a little bit.
A little bit.
So we here, man. Exciting game, exciting times for LSU football, coming off a big win over Missouri, where Jaden Daniels, once again, he went off, bro. Jaden Daniels, we keep talking about the Heisman hopeful. I think if LSU can put some games together, put some wins together, they're already talking about him a little bit. You know, if we can put a stretch together, go win some ball games, I think they'll really start mentioning Jaden Daniels' name.
Sure.
For sure. There we go, brother.
I've been saying it since day one.
Day
Jaden
one.
Daniels for Heisman.
You have been. We're gonna give you the credit on that, Jaden Daniels for Heisman, and our defense just hadn't lived up to what we thought they would be. They're playing a little bit better now. The only thing that scares me is you go in the SEC play. I know we played Missouri. You and I talked about it. Auburn is coming off of 2 losses, but they played some good teams and they played them close. So that's something that scares me a little bit because when you put things on tape and you're playing against SEC schools, they're going to go try to exploit the things you do bad. So hopefully the Tigers have come in, made some changes, and they're ready to roll. I think the biggest jump I want to see, a couple of weeks ago we hired Coach Pete Jenkins to try to change some things on our defensive line, whether it be techniques or alignment, get off, things we're seeing. I want to see that group, Madden, make a jump. And I think it's one thing, I don't know if it's been talked about a lot on radio. We talked about our defensive backs and them being the weak point on this team. But if your D-line is getting after the quarterback, if your D-line is constantly getting after the quarterback, those guys in the back end don't have to cover as long. So I think that's one of the things that kind of goes hand in hand. Our defensive line hadn't been great getting pressure, getting in the quarterback's face. So those guys in the back end are getting, they're having to go cover guys too long. So I'm anxious to see tonight if our D-line can go get in the quarterback's face, help those guys in the back end, go create some turnovers, and it's going to be electric in Tiger Stadium tonight.
Give me a Mason Smith sack tonight.
Let's go. I hear it. He's calling Mason Smith sack, fumble, touchdown. What?
Yeah.
Just sack?
Whit Weeks pickups the fumble, touchdown.
Okay, so there we go. Smith, sack, strip sack, fumble.
Weeks, touchdown.
Weeks going for the touchdown. Is he going to dance after it?
No, he's walking right back.
Well, that's just the type of cat he is. That's the type of cat that man is. I had one more thing I wanted to talk about. This, just this Auburn matchup. Over the years, it's been some historical games. It's going to be 40-something degrees tonight. Right at 50. Nighttime game. I know there's been a lot of buzz with people tailgating. There'll be a lot of people drunk on that woo-woo.
That's every LSU game now.
Well, but this one's just different. LSU Auburn is just. You got LSU Alabama, you got LSU Florida. There's something about LSU Auburn.
See who the real Tiger is. You
got to find out who's got the real Tiger. But over the years, you hear people talk about Alabama. But I know, Madden, I played in some big games, some historic games. When I was 10 years old, I remember the earthquake game. It was a game that Tommy Hodson hit Eddie Fuller. That was before you was even thought of. But Hodson hit Eddie Fuller, and the roar in that game registered on the Richter scale as an earthquake. So they call that the earthquake game. And I can remember at 10, I don't think we were in the stadium, but I can remember we were either listening and watching. Of course, I've seen the highlights over the years. That was one that kind of started it. And then, for me, when I played, in 1995 was my first year. I didn't get the opportunity to play in that Auburn game. I started a little bit later, got in Alabama. But that Auburn game was a game that Coach DiNardo, the whole thing with Coach DiNardo, my head coach at LSU when he came in, was bring back the magic. Let's bring back the magic to the LSU program, the Tiger Stadium. In 1995, Jamie Howard, who had a rough year the year before, 94, which they call the interception game. My guy threw 5 picks, and they just kept calling the pass and play when LSU could have ran the ball. That was a rough time for him. But in 1995, Jamie came back. He was 19 of 30 for 220 yards. And they had some dudes on their team. Patrick Nix was their quarterback. Stephen Davis, who went on to have a great NFL career. Takeo Spikes was a true freshman that year. He's a guy that went out and made some plays, and I had some battles with. So I was glad for Jamie that year. I was a true freshman. 1996 was the barn burner. I can remember being on that field in Auburn, Alabama, and seeing the smoke come up. We were on the field, and I had Alan Faneca and Ryan Thomasy right beside me that game, and we're sitting here thinking, what in the heck's going to happen? Are we about to have to evacuate? But the game kept going on, and I watched a documentary actually this week about it. The firefighters talked about that game. The way the wind was blowing that night, it kept all the smoke and the fire away from the field, so we kept rolling. They took all the water out of the stadium. They had to use it to put that fire out. And to seal that game, that was a close ball game. Not a whole lot of offense. Damian Craig, their starting quarterback, got hurt. They had a cat named Cooley come in. Poor dude, he played good. They go for 2 to tie up the game, and my man Big Play Rayon Hill, picked it off on a 2-point conversion, took it to the house to preserve that win for us. The barn burner. It ended as a barn burner, and it was a barn burner literally the whole time. 1997, that was a game that a guy named Cecil Collins absolutely went off. Cecil had 27 carries for 235 yards, and he got LSU Tiger fans buzzing. You know, Kevin Falk was our everyday running back. He didn't play that game, so Cecil got the bulk of the carries, and my man absolutely went off. They couldn't tackle him. 227 yards. Although we lost that game, it was a breakout game for Cecil Collins. And then my last year playing against Auburn, 1998, we won that game 31-19. Larry Foster was a guy that I played with, came in with, played for 4 years. He had a big game, had 111 yards receiving. So we've had some great matchups. I'm excited about watching this one tonight. Coach, you want to go ahead and we get our pick, our score predictions? You got something in your mind? You want me to go first this week?
34-27 LSU.
Okay, so you got it a little closer. I know 34-27 LSU. I like it. I know Vegas, I believe, has it as a 10-point spread. I think it's going to be a close one too. Give me 38. 38-30. I'll take the Tigers. 38-30. So here we go, Tigers. Here we go. Here we go, Tigers. Here we go. Tiger bait. Tiger bait. Tiger bait. Let's go, Tigers!